So that bit in the Barbie movie, when Gloria delivers that rousing rant on how impossibly hard it is to be a woman and live up to the arbitrary standards that society imposes on them. In her poem Barbie Doll, Margie Piercy says very much the same thing. Here's Piercy's poem. This girl child was born as usual, and presented dolls that did pee-pee and miniature GE stoves and irons, and wee lipsticks the color of cherry candy. Then in the magic of puberty, a classmate said, "You have a great big nose and fat legs." She was healthy, tested intelligent, possessed strong arms and back, abundant sexual drive and manual dexterity. She went to and fro, apologizing. Everyone saw a fat nose on thick legs. She was advised to play coy, exhorted to come on hearty, exercise, diet, smile, and wheedle. Her good nature wore out like a fan belt. So she cut off her nose and her legs and offered them up. In the casket on the satin she lay with the undertaker's cosmetics painted on, a turned-up putty nose, dressed in a pink and white nightie. "Doesn't she look pretty?" everyone said. Consummation at last. To every woman a happy ending. Let's look at this poem one part at a time. In the first line, the baby is referred to as a girl child, not simply a girl or a child. To use the term girl child is to acknowledge the gender of this individual, but also to emphasize her fundamental humanity. We aren't just born male and female. Deeper than that is our essential humanness. She's presented things. She's given a doll and a toy stove and an iron. Little kid lipstick. All these things point to and train her to fill her future roles as wife and mother. But then, in the magic of puberty. Remember puberty? Wasn't it a magical time? No. This is called verbal irony. There's a discrepancy between what the speaker is saying and what they actually mean. They are saying that it's magic, but they mean it's the opposite of magic. And right in the middle of all that puberty, someone told her that she had a great big nose and fat legs. Now, Barbie does not have a great big nose and fat legs. Her very small nose and her very long, thin legs are two of her three defining characteristics. So this first stanza establishes the main two standards of femininity in our culture, at least at the time when this poem was written. Piercy published it in 1971. A woman is to be a homemaker, but also somehow she should be physically like Barbie. The girl in the poem falls short on both standards, but she's got some great things going for her. Healthy is good, intelligence is good. The next line pushes against those traditional notions of femininity. She has strong arms and back, manual dexterity. These things aren't bad in anyone unless you've got an arbitrary standard for femininity in your culture. Then these characteristics are bad for the woman who possesses them. Abundant sexual drive is also a good thing. She's not literally apologizing for her fat nose and thick legs, but she is accepting the judgments against her non-Barbie appearance as legitimate. Notice that everyone saw a fat nose on thick legs. This is likely not the case, literally, but this is the real experience of the girl, and it might as well have been everyone, because it was or is what our society actually thinks. In the next part, she's getting a lot of advice about how she should deal with her problem. Play coy, come on hearty, exercise more, smile more, wheedle. That means she should be flattering to other people to get them to like her. Who's giving this advice? I think it's the people that love her, the people that are in her corner. Friends and family? You see what's happening to her? These people are accepting the judgments. She's not feminine enough, according to the standards of femininity, that they seem to accept. I love the fan belt simile for a few reasons. First, because it's not feminine. Secondly, the fan belt is a fairly inexpensive part of the car. But if it breaks, the effects can be devastating. What broke in the girl had devastating effects. And yes, she took her own life. And no, not by cutting off her nose and legs. But the author is making a connection between those body parts and the reason for her death. Call it metonymy or synecdoche, depending on how you look at it, but it's figurative. And now the last part. So in death she looks more traditionally feminine because of the undertaker's cosmetics and the pink nightie that other people have chosen to dress her body in. Everyone, that same everyone that we heard from in line 11, everyone now says, "Doesn't she look pretty?" At last she conforms to the standards of femininity to which they all agree. Consummation at last. Consummation is when something is finally fulfilled. It suggests that the entire course of this girl's life was to culminate in this moment, in the declaration that she is pretty. This is the trajectory of all girls' life. Their reason to be. That's what that line says. It's a happy ending because she got there in the end. Okay, that's verbal irony again. The speaker says it's a happy ending, but these words don't mean that. She's dead. It's also kind of ironic that this poem is called Barbie Doll and it's not about Barbie at all. But our society has this idea about what a girl and a woman should be. And the parameters for this girl or woman is far too narrow for almost every woman to fit into. Some women shoot deer and fix cars. And they are every bit as much of a woman as one of those who sells influence on TikTok. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.